Assalamu alaikum, dear students. So, in today's class, we are going to discuss how we can attempt our P4 paper, business paper, that is obviously A2 paper, and obviously it is being based on case study. So we have a lot of queries from you people that how we can attempt 20 marks question, and obviously we are going to discuss the pattern of that particular paper and how examiner allocates marks to 20 marks questions, and what are the key points we need to keep it in mind while attempting 20 marks question. So let's begin. So upfront we have a specimen paper. We can see that this is paper 4, and paper 4 is based on business strategy, and it consists of 40 marks, and 40 marks are further divided into two 20 marks questions, and both questions are obviously compulsory, and we have got 1 hour and 15 minutes to attempt these two questions, each comprising 20 marks. So 40 marks whole paper and 1 hour and 50 minutes to attempt that question. So approximately, if we can calculate the time, that is approximately 75 minutes, and we have 40 marks. So less than 2 minutes, approximately 2 minutes to gain 1 mark. This is the ratio of 1 mark, and we will first discuss the question, and then we are going to discuss its solution. So it's about Ryan's form. We'll see. So RF is a short form of Ryan, was set up in Australia in 2001 when John Ryan bought a farm, equipment and inventory for $1.5 million. He financed the purchase with a bank loan which was fully repaid by 2008. So obviously it is saying that Ryan started a business with the bank loan for buying a farm, equipment and inventory for $1.5 million, and it was fully funded by a bank loan, and that bank loan was fully repaid in 2008. So loan was taken in 2001 and fully repaid by 2008. So these are the application points we need to underline while studying case study, so that we can use these points while attempting the question. We don't need to come back to case study again and again. Obviously it will consume our time, time consuming. So it is better to just underline the key and important information within the case study, so that you can um, consult it afterwards. So initially, RF Rayan farm basically produced sugarcane, pineapples, and mangoes. So these are three types of. This is the product portfolio of RF farm. It produced sugarcane, pineapples, and mangoes. So next, we have provided with the timeline of RF strategy. What happened during 2008 and 2014? Several purchases of land to increase capacity, gain economies of scale, and maximize profit margin. All profit reinvested in RF. So what happened in 2008? It is a growth strategy that is basically discussed by examiner with you people, with the students. So growth, we know that there are two types of growth: organic or internal growth, and then there is external growth. So this is about, you can easily see that it is a type of internal growth, or organic growth, in which the business uh, expands its already existing operations by increasing the capacity. So this is what RF did. They expanded their capacity and they gain the benefits of economies of scale, which will obviously which would have helped them decrease the cost of production and maximizing profit margins. But obviously they didn't. He reinvested all of these profits into the business for expansion. So these are the analysis points you can discuss, in uh, your answer. So before moving forward, so this is how you are going to study the whole of the case study, and memorizing the points that you are going to discuss in your solution. So let me just, before moving forward further, let me just have a quick look at what is being required by examiner. So the question is, evaluate the RF strategy for growth between 2008 and 2019. So we need to evaluate, comment, make judgments, informed judgments, calculated judgments based on facts and figures that has been provided by examiner in case study. We need to analyze those facts and figures, those qualitative and quantitative data on which we are going to inference our opinions between 2008 and 2019. So it will help us get 20 marks. So before attempting this question and moving further, let me just give you a brief idea how these 20 marks will be allocated. So as you can see, we have, out of 20 marks, there are 3 marks for knowledge and understanding, 2 marks for application, we have 8 marks for analysis, and 7 marks for evaluation. Now here students get confused that how many points we need to analyze in order to get 8 marks. So let me tell you that at least 3 points of analysis, of developed analysis, must be there, must be present, and if there are 4 points, it is better. But more than 4 points analyzed won't give you any further marks, but at least 3, and 3 to 4 is considered a good number of points that must be analyzed in order to get 8 marks. And same is the case with your evaluation marks. So you need to analyze at least 3 to 4 points in order to get good marks in analysis and evaluation. Coming back to our paper, that is RF's growth strategy. So 2000, between 2008 and 2014, RF did what it has it has resulted in organic growth, increasing, expanding its already existing operations, and gaining economies of scale and maximizing profits, and all profits being reinvested into RF. What happened in 2015? All land converted to sugarcane production. See Appendix 1. We will see Appendix 1 what happened to sugarcane production in 2015. So let me just take you to 2015 Appendix 1. Sugarcane production in Australia. Large profit margins. Why? Now it will give us analysis points. So why they shifted all of their production to sugarcane? Because in Australia in 2015 there were large profit margins in sugarcane production. 80% of the Australian sugarcane is being exported. So there is more revenue, more profits, more incomes, and more incentives. The main export markets include Russia, China, Indonesia, and United States. These are the markets in which sugarcane is being exported. Australia does not subsidize sugarcane production. So, what effect it would have on further growth of sugarcane? You need to analyze that because there is no subsidy on sugarcane production. However, European and American producers are subsidized. So, obviously, while in competition in future, you may lose your market share. You may lose your export because your country Australia is not subsidizing the production, whereas European and American producers are being subsidized to produce more. And we have Brazilian sugarcane farmers are more efficient than Australian sugarcane farmers. This is another analysis point. And then we have global demand for sugarcane, and sugarcane products is forecasted to continue growing. There is an expanding market for sugarcane and sugarcane products. So obviously this will further help businesses gain maximizing their profits and revenues. There is pressure on the industry to make production more sustainable. This is a limiting point that you can use in your evaluation. That obviously with the increase in production and increase in demand, there is also more pressure by by governments and other players in the market pressure groups that are demanding more sustainable production, obviously using less water, and this can increase your cost and result in negative brand name and brand image, increase in cost of production. So you can use develop that point analysis and then give your recommendation. So this is how you are going to do it. So moving back to our case study. So we have just discussed what happened in 2015, what happened in 2016, takeover of BKL and neighboring firm for 10 million. What happened that they have taken over neighboring firm BKL. So this is another form of growth. Obviously, it is a form of integration, and this is a form of external growth, and we need to see appendix 2. So this takeover costed them $10 million dollars, and it was financed by bank loan and sale of shares in RF Limited. So a newly created private limited company. RF created a private limited company by offering shares to friends and family, and then John holds majority 51% share as a managing director. This is what happened in 2016. They growed externally by taking over another business. So let me see the appendix for further information. We can see that the two firms had very different corporate culture. RF uses hard HRM approach, whereas BKL uses soft HRM approach. So there are conflict between the two types of management cultures and approaches being followed in two types of businesses. So what would happen? It can result in conflict between employees. It can also be very difficult to manage the change within the business, to manage the operations because of different types of corporate cultures being followed. Why? Because one is using soft HRM, so you need to highlight the characteristics of hard HRM and soft HRM in your analysis points, and then come up um, with conclusion, with recommendations that how they can going to manage it. And RF employees have annualized contracts, whereas BKL employees were on flexi time contracts. So there were obviously both approaches are different. And RF moved BKL employees into annualized contract, but half of them choose to leave. So there is a high labor turnover. You can use that analysis point as well. And recruitment is difficult. Why? Because employees are already leaving because of RF using hard HRM approach. There is no incentive for employees to join the company, and there is negative brand name, brand image, high labor turnover. So this is why due to hard HRM approach, there is recruitment is being very difficult, and productivity is forecast to fall because of low employee morale and motivation. And coming back, so you can always use these points in your analysis. And what happened next is in 2018, RF purchased a new building financed by a mortgage, see appendix 3. So they bought another building. Again, it was also financed by a mortgage, and we can see the appendix 3 data. Appendix 3 shows data. RF increase There is increase in RF's inventory capacity by 300%. Obviously, by purchasing a building, they have increased their capacity to hold the raw material, allow RFs to hold high levels of inventory for several months to take advantage of price changes. Obviously, we have discussed both inventory holding cost and what are the benefits of holding higher level of inventory, and obviously there are certain disadvantages as well in the form of inventory holding costs. So we need to discuss these two facts in our analysis points and make a judgment, uh, both sided, two-sided arguments. And there is also computerized inventory control system. uh, Obviously inventory management would be good by using a computerized system. ERP system would help them secure materials and other supplies in time and efficiently. So you can use these points in your analysis and evaluation as well. And again, moving to 2019, RF's shareholders approved company's financial result at the annual general meeting. See Appendix 4. So we can see in Appendix 4 what happened. There are certain ratios being given provided to us. Current ratio, we can see that from 2015 to 2018 it is being stagnant, 1:1. So it is a good healthy ratio. We can see acid test ratio, and it is consistently decreasing from 2015 to 2018. So you can comment on that, why the acid test ratio is decreasing. We can use that point that due to increase in inventory, obviously uh, the acid test ratio is on the low because of high levels of inventory. And return on capital employed, we can see that the return on capital employed is decreasing. We can also investigate the reasons being provided to us in the case study. And rate of inventory turnover is also decreasing because of, again, high levels of inventory. Gearing is also increasing because of high financing, and profit of the year is also decreasing. So these are the points, quantitative data that you can use in your application analysis and evaluation. So now I'm going to, we have completely and comprehensively discussed the case study that is being provided to us. So it is very important to, first read it out, the case study, comprehensively and thoroughly, and analyze the points in your mind before writing it down, and underline the key statements and key facts and figures that you can use in your application and analysis and in evaluation. And once you have done that, you are, almost there, 50% there. So now I'm going to show you a paper uh, that is being provided to us by our examiner. And that paper, in that particular paper, the student has got 18 marks out of 20. So it is a form of specimen for us to see how we can gain maximum marks out of the marks available in terms of our assessment objectives. So students, this is the specimen answer. Evaluate RF strategy for growth between 2008 and 2019. So specimen answer started from knowledge points. He strategy for growth. He started off from the knowledge point. He described and he, elaborated the concept of growth in terms of internal growth and external growth. And then part of our strategy was internal growth by reinvesting the profit. So he discussed between 2018 and 2014 there was a type of internal growth because of expanding in existing operations and by reinvesting the profits into buying factors of productions. So he discussed it, he analyzed that point. RF purchased land to expand the growth of sugarcane, pineapples, mangoes. Any profit made was reinvested. Likewise, RF purchased a new building 2008. The benefits of internal growth are that he discussed the benefits of internal growth because the question is about growth strategy. So he used the application points and then analyzed those points in terms of benefits of internal growth, that he was able to produce more at less cost, gaining advantages of economy of scale. This is what we discussed in our case study as well, and this is likely to increase the profitability and long run the profits of the business. Up until 2016, this is also increased John well because he was a sole owner, and beyond 2016, it would have increased the value of shares and dividends of the business. So, we discussed because he was a sole owner till 2015, and afterwards he converted it into the form of company. So he would have all the profits, but profits were reinvested into the business for expansion. So he discussed that point as well. However, because the profits were being reinvested, John and stakeholders may not have benefited. So this is an important point, and statement, evaluative statement that he had used. This might have been especially bad for shareholders, as many of them may have only purchased our share for dividend and share price. Obviously, the shareholders would have purchased the shares with an expectations to have higher profits, but because profits were reinvested, so it was of little use. So you can use that point in analysis and valuation. This can be particularly seen in reduction of profits between 2015 and 2008. So he further, discussed uh, changes in profits, decrease in profits, and however, it was a private to sell their shares. He also discussed external growth in the second paragraph. Uh, that was a very risky approach. The benefits of external growth, and that is a quick way to. He discussed the benefits and advantages of external growth, and RF gain all the production facility of delivering firm as well as customer. However, there were significant differences in two firms. Human resource being managed. So he also discussed the drawbacks of external growth in the form of clashes in the corporate culture, uh, their HRM, human resource management strategies. One was using hard HRM approach, other was using soft HRM approach. So obviously it was very difficult to manage the cultures of both companies by bringing them together. There were more of coordination problems between the employees and organization problems because of different types of culture being followed. So what culture was efficient and how they solved that problem, it is going to be evaluative statement. And he discussed it, and he also discussed that because of it, it may have, there is, this is more likely that may have affected their profits and productivity and sales. So this is the second point being discussed and evaluated, analyzed. And then we have RF finance takeover using a bank loan. So in third point, he discussed what he discussed, that he had to take loan to convert the company business into the company, and obviously he had to also issue the shares for its external growth for takeover. So we can see that in its that gearing ratio is consistently increasing because of high amount of loan and mortgages, and the result it would have on the profitability of the business. We can see that profitability is also decreasing, so you can analyze this point as well into your answers. So this is what he has done. He has discussed the carrying ratio and the decrease and increase in ratio. So from 5% to 30%. So this is what he has discussed and calculated, analyzed the quantitative data. This is how you are going to analyze the information and apply that information into making informed judgment, because of which the profits may have decreased. Likewise, the internal growth of purchasing new building is also being mortgage. So this is how he discussed the third point and fourth point. So overall, the RF strategy is going to grow. For example, new building increased RF, and then buying a new building was fourth point, and it was also financed by a mortgage. So it also increased the inventory capacity by 300%, and eventually it was burned. We can see in the case study. So we can use those facts and figures. We can see that asset test ratio, its liquidity is decreasing, return on capital employed is also decreasing, and rate of inventory turnover is also decreasing because of high levels of inventory. So inventory holding cost may be discussed here, and why we should hold more inventories, and why what are the benefits of holding more inventory. These can be discussed in your answer in your fourth point, and this is what he has discussed. And then at the final paragraph, the overall success, he discussed overall success of the strategy for growth cannot be fully evaluated because of fire which destroyed all of buildings. He concluded that at the end the fire broke out and it burned all the inventory, so the success cannot be determined. But we have consistently evaluated our information and our analysis in the previous paragraphs as well. So this is how you are going to attempt. You are going to select 3 or 4 major points, and you are going to analyze it, and then you are going to evaluate those points at the end of each paragraph, and the final paragraph would be for the overall conclusion. I think this has uh, you people must be having good confidence in yourself after seeing this specimen answer and the structure of these answers, how we can maximize our marks in our 20 marks question. So this question was all about growth strategy, and hopefully you people have improved in your knowledge and your skills. And let me know if there are any confusions. We can discuss in it in our upcoming lesson. And just let me know what kind of question we need to further discuss in our upcoming lesson. What are the topics that are that require revision. So thank you. Hopefully this, I've tried my best that I can give you the maximum understanding of the examiner assessment objectives and how we are going to attempt a better question of 20 marks. Thank you. Good to go. Allah Hafiz.